we have a champion from the consumer good industry, the CEO of Adidas, Hainer. Please come on stage. And you recently acquired a challenger. Well, challenger not really, because they don't do shoes, but they help your customers to get fitter and using the shoes, etc., you're selling more effectively. Florian from Austria, Runtastic, has been to NOAH many times before. You're going to present your firms a little bit, and then we're going to have a discussion.
Okay.
Hainer, please start. Good. Very happy to be here.
So, let me first make a little correction. He always calls me Heiner, but he wanted to say Herbert, because my first name is Herbert. Anyway, so I'm here more or less to introduce Florian to you and to give you a reasoning why we have acquired Runtastic. But let me first start with a picture. I guess a lot of you guys know this man. It's Adidas. He started more or less 100 years ago his own company, and at that time it was not called a startup, but it was, in effect, it was a startup because he started alone. He had a lot of passion, a vision for what he wanted to do, to make sport shoes for the athletes, to help the athletes to get better. And he had this vision and he started. And when you want to see what it is today it is a 19 billion company with around 900 million net income after tax, with a market capitalization of 24 billion, more than 55,000 people located in 170 countries around the world, and with headquarters more or less in all interesting parts of this world. We just have announced to the outside world, but of course internally, our next 5-year plan, which we called Creating the New. And within this Creating the New plan, which goes until 2020, we have 3 key topics which we found out will be very important to our business in the next years. One is individualization. And I don't think I have to speak to that to you, because there are so many people here who are working exactly on that in different areas to individualize products for the individual customers. Urbanization, I also think this is going by itself. Big cities becoming bigger and becoming more and more influential on what are on trend around the world. And the third point is digitalization. I think this is also no surprise to you that we found out that digitalization is one of the mega trends. But if we define it as a mega trend and as a topic in our company, then we set a lot of engagement, a lot of people, and a lot of money behind. When I talk about digitalization, then let me give you 4 examples what I mean with that. First and foremost, digital commerce. Of course, we are all living from selling products, and the same with us. We have just recently brought all our digital activities under one roof, be it from brands, be it from sales, be it from markets, and be it from IT, to have it under one roof. And in this one roof, around 400 people working diligently, that we give a seamless consumer experience. Before, as I said, brand, sales, markets, IT, we had different departments, all tried to do their best, but we were not harmonized, we were not in sync, and didn't give a seamless message to the consumer. And this is, of course, important, as we have today around 220 million followers on the individual channels like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, etc. And the 220 million people, of course, should have a unique and seamless message about our company, about our brands, about what we are doing, what we are thinking, and where we want to go. We grew by 45% in our e-commerce business. Last year, we are a little bit over 600 million, and we have the target until 2020 to go between 2 and 3 billion just on e-commerce sales within our product portfolio. And I'm absolutely convinced this will be achievable. Digital product development. This is really something which I do believe gives us a huge step forward in how we will create, produce, and bring products to market in the future. It starts that we will be much faster as we will have virtual samples which you can show to the consumer, to your retail partners. Of course, we have a virtual shop in the meantime where you can see players with their jerseys on the body. Of course, this is a lot of cost savings because you don't waste materials, you don't have to produce physical samples, you don't have to ship the samples away from Far East to Europe back and forth. But it also gives us, in my opinion, a revolution in how we produce products. The typical production is we go to Far East, labor is cheap. We have, last year, we produced around 300 million pairs of footwear, but you have cheap labor in Asia and you build factories and factories and factories and then the people work there. I think this is the old model. This is gone. It will still be there for a few years, but we have just opened 50 kilometers away from Nuremberg or Herzogenaurach, where we are located, the first speed factory, as we call it. A more or less completely automated factory which is producing shoes. We will start in January then with the first production series where we produce 500,000 pairs, and then we open in 2007 the next factory in America, and this will be the future, and this would not be possible without the digital development. Third point, digital workplace. I think this is also not new to you, mobile first. The old traditional offices are gone, in my opinion. There will be no desk phone anymore. This will all be on mobile. This means that people can work wherever they are. This obviously gives us much more flexibility, much more mobility. This also helps us to save a lot of desks and chairs because you can utilize the room which you have much better. And this is definitely the future of workplace. Of course, this needs that you have a state-of-the-art network connectivity, that you make sure that the safety is priority number one for all the data which you send around and the data which you use. But obviously this gives our employees access to every information they need at the spot. And last point is digital sports. We have a variety of digital connective Adidas products, starting with smart ball, wrist devices, intelligent footwear, apparel, web and media apps. And there is no other company, sports company out, who has so many activities in the fitness and sports world as we have, and nobody has a more profound understanding of movement in the sport as we do have. Be it from professional athletes, from world record holders to hobby sportler, gym enthusiasts, etc., etc. And this is definitely what is the most important part for us. But to be even better in digital sport and even more grounded and get the know-how of digital sports, this was the main reason why we got in contact with Florian and bought Runtastic. Of course, Runtastic, we looked at a variety of companies which we believed could help us, but we found out that Runtastic has the best fit to us. Very global in, I think, 18 languages, market leader in a lot of companies, mainly sport-driven, and this is exactly where our consumer base is. And I can say that now, after 1 year of collaboration, we are quite happy. I hope you as well, not only because of the money he gets, but also with the collaboration which we do internally with Florian's people, with him, of course, personally. And this, I think, is my time is over, and this is a handover to you, Florian. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Yeah, isn't it crazy when you hear selling about 300 million pair of shoe a year? So that's really, really a big, big number. And what we are doing here in physical, we are trying to beat in digital. And I might start with a short video, if it comes up. So, yeah.
They said it couldn't be done. They said, stop playing games. Well, a lot can change in 6 years. Runtastic is a leader in the global health and fitness space, boasting hundreds of millions of app downloads and tens of millions of active registered users. You heard right. We motivate millions of people to get moving each day and boast an incredible 150,000 new app downloads daily. What started as a spirited, perhaps naive idea from 4 ambitious young men has become a worldwide movement of sorts. With over a dozen apps on all relevant platforms, available in up to 15 languages, Runtastic has developed into a comprehensive ecosystem of products, services, and content that help people live longer, live better, and get happy. In August of 2015, Runtastic was acquired by the Adidas Group. We are very excited about our new partner and eager to combine forces with such an established company and improve the health and fitness of individuals around the world. Take a peek into the world of Runtastic to see what we've already accomplished and what's just around the corner. Life is short, live long.
Yeah, I think the most important parts are that we are being part of the Adidas Group since 10 months now, and the most question I got asked for is, how is it? Are you motivated? Things like that, and I can answer it really honest. We are really motivated. The partnership so far has been really, really good. Of course, on purpose, we tried really to also make somewhere, let's say, a connection that we think about the low-hanging fruits, but also other than that, that we really can work as an own independent business at Runtastic, because we have lots of plans to do. And I just show you a little bit what we have done so far. You have seen many of those parts in the video, but basically we are coming from the app business. So we are creating apps. With those apps, we got more than 175 million downloads within the last 6 years, meaning each day on an average, we have about 150,000 downloads. So that means 150,000 people come together with our brand on a daily basis. And you see many apps in the outer circle, which are called our satellite apps. And those apps helps us a lot to cross-sell to our core business, which is in the inner circle. And the inner circle, which is the Runtastic running and fitness app, the Runtastic results app for bodyweight training, and the Runtastic Me app as a dashboard app, those are the apps are based on a subscription model, business model. So that is what we are heading for. The premium membership, you get all the access. And the idea is that you have one membership with all those benefits. And with that incredible reach we already do have, and then in future combining with the power of the Adidas Group, we are quite sure that we will become even more a leader in the digital health and fitness space. Just a few numbers about the company. It's 6 years old. We've been profitable since month 18, so we always focused also on making money. We boast over 180 million downloads from over 20 mobile apps, having a lot of products in 15 up to 18 languages. At this point, we are 170 people based in Austria, and there are really all those people in Austria in our headquarters in Linz, in a city with 200,000 people. Many people do ask me, how is that possible, how you can hire people? I just can say, you have to create a good culture, then this is doable. Our people, our employees are coming from 32 countries. We're doing all the translation in-house, all the knowledge is in-house. We don't work with agencies at all. We created the video by ourselves, everything is done there. Because for me, I'm a believer, you have to understand your own business and you have to have the core competence in-house. And we are one team with one vision, and we really think together, Runtastic and Adidas, we are here to win the race. We're really eager to get the impossible done. And as mentioned, it's been a great time this first 10 months. And I'm happy to looking forward to see what will happen in the future. But I think, Marco, we will talk about that now a little bit. Thank you.
Wonderful. Now, by the way, what I love is when entrepreneurs symbolize their product. I just asked Herbert about his age, but I'm not disclosing, and I would have guessed it very, very different. You keep very, very fit, and also another compliment to Florian. Your app seems to work quite well, looking at your apps.
Trying my best.
Okay. Everyone awake? Okay.
Sure.
So, did you sell too early, Florian?
No, I don't think so. So it's not about, I think it's not about selling, you know. When we founded the business back 6 years ago, we didn't know about startups or what the word exit does mean. My vision is to create a really good, cool company to help the consumer out there. And if on the way, the right partner comes along, and so we got to know each other somehow, and I think it's a lot about people, and as Herbert mentioned before, it shouldn't be just about money. It should be about a partnership, and just saying that all the 4 founders of Runtastic are being on board after this acquisition shows a lot about culture and what we do believe in.
When did you found Runtastic?
Where?
When?
When, October 2009.
When did you have the first time the thought, man, that someday I can call Herbert and he may buy my company?
So to be really honest, we didn't think about that, what could happen. We just said on the way, and we have been part of Axel Springer for quite a while, that if good partners and good people are knocking on our doors, we should talk to them, because at least you always learn something.
So who knocked?
Many German media companies, after a year already. We got the first term sheet after 12 months funding the company, but we took that away. We even didn't know what this means or should be. We really focused on being profitable. We didn't get any funding at all at Runtastic, so it's a bootstrapped story.
So you want to be financially fit?
Yeah, definitely, because we became cash flow positive after 18 months because we have to.
We didn't get any money. You kept the heads down working and suddenly something happened.
Yeah, I would say we have been we worked a little bit, yeah, the last years.
And just to remind everything, Herbert, what is the stake of the company you acquired?
From Runtastic?
Yeah.
100%, including Florian.
How do you incentivize Florian?
First and foremost, I have to say that I'm really impressed, and this is not saying it just because we are sitting here on the couch. I'm really impressed by the motivation the guys have. Of course, Florian and his 3 partners, but also the team down in Linz. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but they are motivated first and foremost by what they have achieved. Secondly, being part now of a bigger elephant, and this obviously gives them much more opportunities to grow their company. And of course, we have a little incentive scheme for these guys as well. But overall, it is much more an intrinsic motivation what they have and what we feel and what it makes so important.
So basically, you enjoy what you're doing. It's not just about maximizing the last penny of your activities?
No, it's definitely not. And think about why. Being in a position, being a young entrepreneur, I am 33, and having now the chance leading my own startup with 170 people, where there's a lot of people management, by the way, now, which I don't like that much because I like to work operative as well. But anyway, and having the chance to getting into that world and really seeing the big possibilities, the big numbers, what you can do, what you can achieve. So I can learn a lot, and I think it's really a pleasure being in a position to enjoying this startup life, combining with this world, and then thinking about how we can use all our knowledge and this very fast technology-driven world to help and even accelerate the business on that side. And I think this is exactly also what the partnership is about. It's really also about humans, about trust.
Okay. So, wow. That's like, sounds so staged, it's unbelievable.
No,
but it's real, I know it's real, because we had the same discussions before as well.
Exactly.
Herbert, you are in a tough business, right? What's the average price of like a fitness shoe these days, roughly?
Well, the average price, I would say, is around 80, 90 euros. Of course, you can start with 50, 60, but you can go up to 150,
and then,
200.
I mean, there is a bit of technology. I remember one of your competitors had like some air poles, like airbags in the shoes. You can jump up and down. But how do you differentiate? And was the acquisition of Runtastic for you strategically the hope of being able to differentiate the kind of sneaker, or you know, call it?
Good. First and foremost, there is no doubt that we stay true to what we are, and we are a sports company. We definitely want to provide the athletes with the best products that they can improve their performance. There is no doubt. And as you see on our numbers, it works quite well. Also, when I look to our stock price, which is on the all-time high.
Oliver Samwer doesn't look at his stock price. You look at your stock price?
Yeah, I have to go out every 3 months and explain it to my investors, so they are looking carefully at the stock price, and I have to do as well. But the beauty with the connection of Florian is that, as you guys all know, the whole world is getting digital. We are a big tanker, but we need a few speedboats who are helping us to be faster. And Florian and Runtastic are one of these speedboats which can help us in a certain segment of our business, and this is digitalization, to be faster, to be more nimble.
How many employees you have?
We have around a little bit over 55,000, but you have to have in mind that we don't produce anything by ourselves, so footwear or apparel.
So that's like the Apple model, basically.
There are still around 500,000 people who are just working on Adidas products to produce them.
Moses. Now, you're really busy growing Runtastic. Let me ask you a question, Herbert. You know, as a banker, you always put very nice projections together, and they are credible, because you can calculate all the drivers.
Sometimes.
I mean, the acquisition is not that long ago, but has he hit his plan? Has Florian delivered?
So let me say one thing first. As I said before in my introduction, we looked at a lot of different companies, and what I really liked, besides of the things which I mentioned already, global and many languages, the Runtastic had a clear plan how to drive revenue and how to drive profit. They are profitable from more or less the first day on, which obviously we like to see. And I can say so far he hit all his targets. We are still in for 10 months. So
maybe they were a little bit too conservative. Left something under your sleeve?
I wouldn't say so.
This shows how smart he is.
Or you have to have your
And today you have sleeves. In London you came completely ripped.
Exactly. So, you know, sometimes you have to, no.
So,
you just don't.
So the obvious question, are there more acquisition to come for Adidas in the auxiliary services?
Good, we don't have anything specific in the pipeline in the moment, but obviously we are permanently looking at the market and see what is out there, what is interesting for helping us to accelerate our core business, which is Runtastic as well. We bought 5 years ago 2 electronic companies, Bones in Motion and Textronics, which most probably nobody knows, but they helped us already to start our digital business, and this is an accelerator. And yeah, of course we are looking out to the market what's available.
Okay, when I buy my next Adidas shoe, which I should really do because my feet are hurting like crazy after these 2 days and a little bit of dance, do I get a Runtastic subscription trial period of 3 months with it?
Not when you are first buyer of Adidas shoes, because we want to have loyal customers. So when you bought your 5th or your 10th pairs, then we can talk about that.
That's lots of shoes, okay. Have they delivered any synergies they promised you in order to get Runtastic at this deal? Because your company is worth how many billions?
24 billion.
24 billion. And yours, what is it official, the price which you saw?
It was 220 million.
220. That's really a big difference.
Of course it is.
Potential.
You are happy with the price?
I'm happy. So really, it was not a lie and it was not staged. It's really, so I did many interviews yesterday. So I think it couldn't have been better, to be honest. If people ask me, would you do something different? I really have to say no at the moment. Maybe in 1 year, in 2 years, there would be another answer. I don't hope so, and I don't think so. And there's a lot of potential, as I just mentioned. It's also a lot about learning and not just about money in life. Of course, this sounds staged, but it's not. It's really, I think, if you believe, what are you doing, and you're having fun, and you're very welcome invited to our office to see this culture of 32 countries being in this
But then you hired another M&A banker, and I didn't come anymore.
Exactly. So yeah, we had some miscommunication here.
Okay. I think it's awesome because we do this conference in Berlin to bring together champions and challengers, and want them to meet, to get to know each other, and take away the friction in the system. And we are incredibly proud to have you on stage and talking about the deal, because it's one of those deals which were large and big in the segment. And I love the spirit, I love the attitude of working together, learning from each other. This is a poster child of champion and challengers working together, and I wish you the best of luck for the future. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Marco.
Thank you. Well done, Florian.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Dankeschön.
Danke, Marco.